Hello fellow coffee botherers. In this video we're going to be talking about the Sage or Breville Dual Boiler. Quite some time ago I did my first video on the Dual Boiler, the overview review, in which I promised to follow up with more videos. Some would say that this follow-up video took longer but probably cost less than the second Avatar movie. And I did consider painting myself blue for this video and filming large parts of it underwater, but that would have caused further delays, so we decided against it. Today we're kicking off an entire series on the Dual Boiler, so make sure you're subscribed and allow notifications to see them when they're released. This series is going to cover the Dual Boiler overview, machine demos, dialing in, Dual Boiler versus Barista Pro, why buy the Dynamic Duo package, grinder pairings, and cleaning and maintenance. I'm redoing the overview simply because I've used the Dual Boiler so much more now that I have more to say about it. The Sage or Breville Dual Boiler has been my main home machine for nearly 18 months now. I actually have two of them. I'm greedy. One for normal everyday use and one with the Slayer mod for playing around with lighter roasts. In case you think I'm made of money, by the way, both of my Dual Boilers are beat up Recons that had already pulled thousands of shots by the time I bought them. And this is one of the brilliant things about this machine when it comes to the durability and longevity. So the Dual Boiler is Sage or Breville's flagship espresso machine. You may think the Oracle and Oracle Touch are their flagships, and kind of, but they're the Dual Boiler with an integrated grinder and some clever automation, hence the heftier price tag. It's a dual boiler machine, which means obviously it has two boilers. There's a brew boiler for the espresso and a steam boiler. Why would you want a dual boiler machine? Well, with single boilers or thermocoil machines, you can only pull shots or steam milk one at a time. You can't steam milk while pulling shots. The cheapest machines that make this possible are usually heat exchanger machines. These don't have two boilers, but they heat the brew water via something called a heat exchanger, which is just a copper pipe running through the steam boiler. Two main things I think are important to point out about the dual boiler. Number one, this is one of the cheapest dual boilers on the market. It's just under £1,250 in the UK, around £1,300 if you buy it with the Smart Grinder Pro as a Dynamic Duo bundle, and I'll get to that later. This is very much at the entry-level price point for dual boiler machines. In fact, it's cheaper than quite a few heat exchanger machines on the market. Number two, in my humble opinion, this is one of the best dual boiler machines. Comment down below if you agree, and if you don't, you're wrong.
I beg your pardon?
I did not expect that.
For me, the key reason why it's the best is a consistency of espresso quality due to temperature stability and precision. It's a dual PID machine, and PID means it has a feedback loop to control the temperature, and it has a heated group with two PIDs which work together to keep the boiler temperature and the group temperature one and the same, or as close as possible to that. It also has a heat exchanger, which means that the water from the tank is heated before it feeds the boiler to aid the temperature stability. This is something that commercial machines usually have. The Reale, for example, does this, so to find this attention to detail in one of the lowest cost dual boilers is very impressive. So we're not talking about a machine here with temperature swings. There's no temperature surfing to do. What's on the screen is a temperature in the group and the boiler, or as close to it as you're ever likely to get without having a fully saturated group, meaning machines like the Reale, where the group and the brew boiler are one unit. As I've mentioned, there are heat exchanger machines that cost more than this, and these are machines that don't have a brew boiler. They just have a steam boiler, and the brew water is simply heated via the heat exchanger, a pipe with water running through it from the tank, which is heated by the steam boiler. You also have a much easier, more precise control over the brew temperature than with any machine I've seen at a similar price range. In my opinion, the control over temperature with this is even easier and more precise than with the amazing, iconic La Marzocco Linear Mini, which costs over 3 times as much as a dual boiler. You can adjust the temperature in 1 Celsius increments from 86 degrees to 96 degrees Celsius, or 187 to 205 Fahrenheit. You also have a level of control over the pump that's unheard of, except with very specific pressure profiling machines, which usually cost a lot more than this. In the settings, you can control pre-infusion power and pre-infusion time from 0 to 90 seconds, much more than you'd need for most shots, but it does lend itself to specific types of shots. So we've got incredible temperature stability and precision and amazing control over pre-infusion in a dual boiler espresso machine that costs less than quite a few heat exchanger machines. That should really be all you need to know about the dual boiler to decide whether it's one of the best options if you're looking for a dual boiler espresso machine at this kind of price point. But it doesn't stop there. The heat up time for a machine like this is ridiculously quick. A lot of dual boiler machines, especially if they're E61 group machines, will need anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes of heat up time before you pull the first shot. This is ready, in the UK at least, it may differ depending on the electricity in your country, in around 6 minutes. The machine has a very easily programmable auto on and off. Have it ready for the morning and then reset the timer with a push of a button to time your next cup. Yes, there's a discussion to be had about the auto off, whether you can disable this and whether it makes sense for energy usage to do that if you can, or to leave it to auto off after 15 minutes, but we'll get to that in a later video. Milk steaming is really easy to do and ghost steaming works brilliantly on this machine. Keep an eye out on this channel for a video on that. It also has a dedicated hot water knob and hot water spout.
You really pronounced knob.
The shot buttons can be used either in timer mode or volumetric, and the water tank can be filled from the front or just from taking it out. There's also a lockable wheel for easy manoeuvring. It has a standard 58ml group, a huge 1.2 litre capacity drip tray, a 2.5 litre water tank, and it's just under 38 centimetres tall, so it'll fit under most kitchen wall cupboards. It's actually quite compact for a dual boiler machine, just under 37 centimetres deep and just over 41 centimetres wide, including the knobs. So overall, this is just an amazing machine for the money. As I mentioned earlier, it's even better value when you buy it as a Dynamic Duo bundle, as this gives you the Sage or Breville Smart Grinder Pro for around £50 more in the UK for a grinder which usually retails at £210. In my humble opinion, the Smart Grinder Pro is absolutely fine to pair with the dual boiler. If you're just getting started and the Dynamic Duo fits your budget, no problem. The Smart Grinder Pro is an entry-level grinder though, and the dual boiler isn't an entry-level espresso machine. So if you upgrade your grinder at a later stage, you'll have the potential for better cup quality and the ability to work with a wider range of beans. We'll be covering grinder pairings in the future, so make sure you're subscribed to be notified as and when. There are loads of amazing machines out there, and honestly, I'm not interested in upgrading from the dual boiler as my main daily home espresso machine. I've got it paired with the Niche Zero, and the espresso I get from it is stunning. It doesn't take up a huge amount of space, it heats up quick, it makes amazing espresso, it does a great job on the milk side of things, it's reliable, it's easy to maintain and repair if required, as I know because both of my machines were old broken machines that were reconditioned. I just think this machine is very, very difficult to beat for the price. So that's it for video 1 in the new dual boiler series. Video 2 is coming soon, about the same time as Avatar 4, just kidding, in a couple of weeks. And in that one, I'll be showing you how to use the dual boiler. I'll be demonstrating making various coffees with it and going into more detail on some of its features. Matt Damon was offered 10% of Avatar revenue to play Jake Sully, but turned it down. Oops, and that has nothing to do with clicking the like button, but click the like button if you wouldn't turn down £500 million. Thank you very much for watching, and if you love coffee and enjoyed this video, we've got tons of content about how to make better coffee at home to take you from beginner to home barista. We've got reviews and how-tos on the most popular machines. If you like the sound of that, click on my face to subscribe. Tatty Bye.